That stare stayed with you longer than it should have. It was only a look, but it did not feel like only a look. You have probably felt this before. Someone looked at you for 1 second too long, or not long at all, but something in that moment felt charged. You may not have known what it meant. You just knew it felt different, and that is what makes it unsettling. Because your mind moves fast when your body notices something first. You replay the look, you question the timing, you wonder if you imagined it, you wonder if they were judging you, you wonder if they were judging you, you wonder if they saw something in you that you did not mean to show. That reaction is not random. A stare can feel different because it is different, not always in an obvious way, but in a psychological way. Most people think a stare only means one of two things: interest or threat, attraction or aggression, confidence or creepiness. But human behavior is rarely that clean. A stare can carry attention, discomfort, curiosity, resentment, desire, confusion, power, vulnerability, or emotional leakage. Sometimes it says more about the person staring. Sometimes it says more about what changed between both of you. And sometimes it feels intense because your nervous system caught a shift before your thinking mind could name it. That is why one stare can feel flat, and another can feel impossible to ignore. The eyes do not just look. They reveal regulation. They reveal hesitation. They reveal emotional pressure. They reveal where attention becomes personal. Think about the first situation. You're talking to someone at work. The conversation is normal, polite, professional. Then you say something sharper than usual. Maybe you challenge an idea. Maybe you point out a risk. Maybe you finally say what everyone else was avoiding. And they stare at you for a beat too long, not blinking much, not speaking yet, just holding that look. What makes it feel different is not only the stare itself, it is the pause around it. The social air changes. That look may not mean hostility. It may mean your words created internal conflict. They are processing status, pressure, and self-control at the same time. A stare like that can be a moment of recalculation. The person is deciding how to respond without revealing too much too early. Now think about a more personal situation. You ask someone a direct question, not a casual one, a real one. Maybe you ask if they are okay. Maybe you ask if they are okay. Maybe you ask what changed between you. Maybe you ask if they still feel the same. And they look at you in a way that feels unusually still. The stare lands harder than their words. Why? Because eye contact becomes more intense when emotional stakes rise. The moment gets real. Their face may stay calm, but the stare feels heavier because you are no longer exchanging information. You are exchanging exposure. That is why certain looks feel almost invasive. Not because the person is doing something dramatic, but because the stare is carrying more emotional truth than the conversation is. Then there is a third situation that almost everyone has experienced. You walk into a room, someone looks at you, and something about it feels off immediately. Not loud, not obvious, just different. Maybe they look away quickly. Maybe they keep looking. Maybe they keep looking. Maybe their expression barely changes. But your body reacts before your thoughts do. That matters. Because what often makes a stare feel strange is mismatch. The eyes are doing one thing. The rest of the person is doing another. The mouth is neutral, but the gaze is intense. The posture is relaxed, but the eyes are fixed. The words are friendly, but the look feels cold. That mismatch creates psychological friction, and your nervous system notices friction fast. This is where people often make a mistake. They assume the meaning of the stare is always in the intention. But a stare does not feel different only because of what the other person meant. It can also feel different because of what the stare activates in you. Some looks trigger self-consciousness, some trigger vigilance, some trigger attraction, some trigger old social memories you cannot explain in the moment. A stare can feel powerful because it touches something already sensitive inside you. Being seen is never a neutral experience. People say they want honesty. People say they want attention. People say they want attention. People say they want connection. But being truly seen can feel exposing. It can make you more aware of your face, your voice, your body, your uncertainty, your social position. That is why certain stares feel like pressure. They force self-awareness upward. And once self-awareness rises, emotion often rises with it. That deeper tension is important. A stare often feels different when it crosses from observation into psychological contact. That is the shift. It stops feeling like someone is merely looking at you and starts feeling like something is happening between you. That something may be silent, but it is still real. It can be attraction that neither person knows how to hold. It can be resentment hidden under politeness. It can be curiosity mixed with restraint. It can be admiration mixed with discomfort. It can be someone trying not to show emotion. It can be someone showing emotion without meaning to. And because eyes are fast, direct, and hard to fully control, they often leak the pressure before language does. That is why a stare can feel different even when nothing has been said yet. The silence is not empty, it is loaded. So what should you notice next time instead of jumping to the easiest conclusion? First, notice the timing. Ask yourself what happened right before the stare changed. Did the topic become more personal? Did you challenge something? Did closeness increase? Did tension rise? A stare means more when it appears at a specific emotional moment. Timing tells you what activated it. Second, notice whether the face matches the eyes. Are the eyes intense while the mouth stays polite? Are they smiling with no warmth around the eyes? Are they calm everywhere except the gaze? Congruence matters. When the eyes and face do not match, you are often looking at suppression, conflict, or emotional control. Third, notice what happens immediately after. Do they soften? Do they pull back? Do they blink more? Do they look away and reset? Do they become colder? Do they suddenly become overly casual? The stare is rarely the whole signal. It is part of a sequence. And sequences reveal more than isolated moments. This is why reading people well is not about memorizing one behavior. It is about reading clusters. One stare does not equal attraction. One stare does not equal danger. One stare does not equal confidence. One stare does not equal truth. But it can tell you that something internal just shifted, and that is often the real value of the moment, not a final answer, a pressure point, a clue, a sign that something became psychologically meaningful. The most useful takeaway is this: that stare felt different because it probably carried more than attention. It carried tension. It carried exposure. It carried mismatch. It carried a silent reaction that had not turned into words yet. When you understand that, you stop reducing people to simple labels. You stop calling every intense look interest. You stop calling every awkward look threat. You stop assuming you know the full story from 1 second of eye contact, and you start seeing social behavior with more precision. That makes you less reactive. It makes you harder to fool. And it makes you more compassionate too, because sometimes the stare that felt strange was not about control at all. Sometimes it was about someone trying to manage what they felt in your presence. If this kind of psychology helps you notice what most people miss, you are in the right place with Novi Mind. Because the smallest reactions often reveal the deepest social truths. And in the next video, we are looking at why someone can sound calm while their eyes quietly give them away.